Togozan. I don't know who's here. Hello, hello. Who's here? Togozani Hlengiwe. Hello, Hlengiwe. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Sorry, slightly late. We were experimenting with some technology and it didn't quite work out, but you know, we're here. We're here. Sanbonan Togozan Kamagwini Lesedi Lehanya Kwaziwai Jambo Kilode Kedu Ninja. Thank you guys for coming. Appreciate you. Hey Robert, how are you? Spongile, how are you? Sisanda, how are you? Mkulu is here and Mkulu is ready to join. I'm going to bring Mkulu on right now, guys, so that we can get into this conversation. Now Mkulu, invite and let's see. And joining and joined. Ha! Thokoza Mkulu.
Hayi Thokoza ijekile
Ninjani?
Siyaphila njani ntokazi?
Hayi siyaphila Mkulu.
Oh, nice, technical difficulties, but we're getting there. Thokoza ntokazi.
We will get there eventually. So I was just trying to explain to people how we were experimenting with technology. StreamYard is actually a very good studio platform because, like I was saying to you, it allows you to stream in different places. So I think we will work on getting it up and running properly because I could see you were there. But for some reason, when I would call you, you wouldn't hear. But we'll experiment with it offline because it gives us an opportunity to actually, you and I, to talk in studio before we hit the live button. So we'll fix that for the future. Guys, can everybody hear? Because Mkulu for me is sounding quite low. So I don't know whether it's the volume of your phone, Mkulu.
Let me try and adjust. On Sunday, yes. Injan man.
Guys, can you hear me? Can you hear Mkulu say something in the comments?
Ngiyazwakala ntokazi.
Mina ngiyazwakala.
Yeah, uyazwakala quite clearly.
Okay, when ngiyazwakala, but volume is very low.
It's very low.
Yeah.
I wonder. Because la ivuleke yonke la.
Yeah. Oh, so sound is clear for everybody, yes? Okay. People are saying sound is clear, so maybe it's because I'm old. Yazi ukuguga lokhu akukokodi Mkulu, it just arrives.
Kunjalo.
Yeah.
Kunjalo.
So Mkulu, I want us to talk about this very important period we entered last week, which is the period of Nut. Please, can you share with us who Nut is? I don't want to say what, because I think there's a need for people to understand that Nut, it's not an it, it's a who. It's a spirit. We may call it a principle, because for me, when I am trying to separate Uguti to understand, because every time you say spirit, people immediately run to the spirits they have heard so much about, which I call the lower order spirits. Not that they're not important, but spirits like Amadlo's weight. So when you say spirit, people think Nguni spirit, Mdao spirit, Nzunza spirit. And what I want us to do is to elevate that so that people understand that governing these spirits that we know are higher order spirits, which are cosmic spirits, So rather than call them spirits in the same way, that's probably why I prefer to use the term principle. But umoya ngumoya now. So what is this principle or energy or umoya ganut umpetikazi?
Oh, Thokoza Ndlovukazi. Ngibulise, to the viewers as well. This is the energy or the principle or the element which then becomes prevalent when we are at the closing cycle, of the year. This is, this is the last, season for the African, calendar. We are preparing for the new year in September. So, uNuthi umphetikazi, simbiza umphetikazi, uyena ovala unyaka according to the African calendar. Therefore, it is the energy that becomes prevalent when the proximity of Earth and the sun, it's at this degree, because this is the last degree. We are vala. Kuthiwa uNuthi is the mother of all, because uNuthi represents the sun. And uNuthi, what we normally say when we give lectures is that uNuthi, it is a khulukhulwane manifest, because everything emerged from ukhulukhulwane. So now all these stars, and planets and everything, they emerge from ukhulukhulwane, but they set, in the belly of Nuthi, isibhakabhaka. So everything is within, the body of Nuthi. Okay. So umoya, Ndlovukazi, just in short, umoya, it's what we know in chemistry, element, which then becomes prevalent at this particular time.
Thokoza mkhulu. Mkhulu, mawusithi ukhulukhulwane, there are people there who are probably going, what is ukhulukhulwane? My understanding of it, ukhulukhulwane is that carbon soup, or that soup, that cosmic soup from which all things emerge.
Yes. Injalo Ndlovukazi, it is, that state of origin, where everything, even the sun, the moon, everything emerged from ukhulukhulwane.
Right.
It is that, carbon soup, which is, the element that engulfs the whole universe. Most of the universe, nothing, what we call melanin, it is that carbon, because we were, as African people, we were created as Sazalo. The first female, was created, which then, that's why they talk about the mitochondrial DNA,
yes,
which comes from that, African, they call her African Eve.
Yes.
But, Ndlovukazi yokuqala, which gave us all, the DNA that we share as a people. So, ukhulukhulwane, it is that primeval waters, the waters of noon, before any other creation, happened.
So I'd like people to take a look, because you know me, I'm all about the pictures. The way you've put it, Mkhulu, Uguti, uNuthi is cosmic mother. She's often depicted like this. I don't know if people can see.
Yeah.
So she's often depicted with stars in her belly. And as mother of all, you can see she's sort of all encompassing. Oops, upside down. Here we go. Like that.
Yes.
So if you need a visual to understand the nature of cosmic mother or Nuthi, or this element, that is, if you need visionary, a lot of people need visionary things, otherwise it becomes too abstract for them to understand. So that is what you get. I'll post these pictures on my page, guys. Mkhulu, one of the things that sparked my passion about the calendar was this idea that we can ritual or do certain activities at specific times of our African calendar year in alignment with the cosmic energies that are prevailing. So during this season of Nut, what are some of the things, what are we doing? What as humans practically, what does this energy or this principle mean for us? How do we work within this energy? What are we supposed to be doing with this energy to enhance our lives, to enhance our spiritual growth, to enhance our economic being on this planet? We need money to live. What should we be doing during this time?
Okay, principle cannot, it's called augmentation. It means intensification of all the efforts, and getting ready to launch new things, new ideas, in September. So and the function here is that gestation. Remember, Uguti Unut, everything lives within the body of Nut. Therefore, lesikhathi lesi isikhathi la kuvuleke khona amasango ezulu. Meaning, Gucci, there is a gate opened now to receive all the departed souls, all those souls that departed from their body. It is the time when they are received back, in that realm, your koko, the realm, your yama principles. And also, this is the only time la kuzalwa khona kabusha, new souls that are going to be looking for bodies, for self, expression. So, and also, they say, Guti, this is a perfect time, like, oh, mama, to heal, to get healed, anything that has to do with the womb. Isikhathi manje ukuthi ucele kuyindlovukazi, whatever ailments, whatever challenges you have, la, in the womb, this is the time to actually, do those rituals, as well as isikhathi shokuthi ngesizulu, ngesintu nje general, umuntu meke shonile after a year, kuthiwa siyamkhuphula.
Yes.
So this is the perfect time. This is the perfect time and only time that we are able, to actually do those rituals and ceremonies, ukukhuphula, our departed, souls, so that remember ukuthi umoya womuntu uzalwa upure, but because of impilo, we sin by looking, by saying things, by doing things. So therefore, umoya wako becomes impure. So yingakho it's important ukuthi makufika lesikhathi lesi, timing has got to, in the African sense, timing is everything.
Yes.
So kumele sazi la umnyango wezulu uvuleke khona, and this is the only time la singakhona ukwenza those ritual and ceremonies to cleanse the spirits of our departed, people, so that they are able to welcome back.
Wait. You've touched on something, because my thing is, most families bayenza lo msebenzi ngesindebele in Zimbabwe bathi umbuyiso. In the Shona culture, they call it magadziro, which is exactly that. A year after somebody has died, there are these rituals. Because majority of people are doing these rituals in December. Majority of people are doing these things in December, is when they go home, gahlatshwa, inkomo ziyawa, imbuzi, and the rituals, there's the beer brewed. So now, Mkulu, you're here to tell us that actually, the gates will be closed at that time. It is not the right time.
It's fully closed, and Njovukazi, because that is December is the month of maturity. It's when the sun and the earth are closest. you know, so kuvalekile wena Ndlovukazi. I think people do that because of their, you know, convenience. I know, ngizobe ngise-holidayini, you know, everybody would be at home, so it's better for us to do it. Kanti cha, senza into timing is completely wrong. You know, that is why I find that, you know, yenzakale lezinto, but still kukhona okubo kwenzakalayo ekhaya. That indicates nje ukuthi somehow sidoyile in a way, which is why it's important for us to go back to the African calendar, because everything is guided by time. You know, time is everything.
You know, that's a really deep one, and I hope you guys are listening. I hope you guys are listening to the importance of this. I'm looking shaken because I am shaken, because I'm thinking of the number of people in my own family. Yo, I'm thinking of the number of people in my own family who have had these ceremonies done haphazardly when you say, like, as you say, it was convenient. And I'm shook and I'm shaken because I'm like, Babu Pimanj. Yo.
No, but and of course it's never too late. You know, iyalungiseka lento. So that you know, timing has got to be proper. If kwenzakele lelo phutha asiphahleni siceleni amandla again. We didn't know, all of us. We used to do these things, you know, haphazardly, without any, you know, instruction and the timing yakhona, which is perfect for whatever rituals. So it's time now, which is phahle sicela amandla ukuthi hey, sizwile ukuthi ngathi kwenzeka iphutha, kepha siphele amandla silungise futhi. I think bazosinikeza amandla siyilungise futhi leyo.
Thokoza Mkhulu, Thokoza. Mkhulu, you said something very important, and as you're talking, there's a thing coming to me, ukuthi Unut is the gateway or the mother of birth, meaning
yes,
when somebody dies, and I always teach this to people who are new to African spirituality, when somebody passes, they are not automatically accepted into the ancestral. They are in a stage, I mean, Roman Catholics will call it limbo, which is that region, that lower frequency space between the living, physical, and the ancestral and higher realms. So they are in that space. So what Mkhulu is saying is, there is a certain period of the way where spirits or souls in that space get an opening. There's an opening at which, when you do their cleansing rituals at that time, they are then able to elevate into that ancestral space, and that timing is everything. Also, what I get from you, Mkhulu, is in the same way as we have these spirits going in to the ancestral, there are also other spirits that are being manifest here, getting ready to manifest in human flesh. That is really powerful.
Yes. Injalo Ndlovukazi, there are spirits, you know, who then gets projected into, you know, on the etheric layer. Yes. Remember the etheric layer, kuqala yona before kuza the physical manifestation.
Yes.
So yes, you know, zilinda lapho, so that, you know, uma kuhlangana abantu ababili gijime, you know, lo moya hawo nalithuba ngiyongena.
Right, uthi nami ngiyambona uma wami, there's my mom. No baba, aw ngiyababona.
Injalo Ndlovukazi. So yisisikhathi la unuthi khona iNdlovukazi bese ke isilethela yonke le mimoya ke, which are supposed to be reborn, you know, into or project into physicality again.
Which is why you were saying, Guti, this is a perfect time for women to really heal their womb space. Yes. If you're one of these women who desires or even a couple who has been desiring and desires to have children, this is a time for umphahlo wenu ukuthi ube namandla for this, because galokhu it's rain time. It's children, the spirits abound. So this is a perfect time for you to cleanse yourself, to prepare yourself to receive, because your chances are augmented during this time.
No, sure. Augmentation, is the principle this time. So meaning intensification of your spiritual work on this side will be assisted by the prevalent energy, ganut, so that it's directed to go and heal. Yingakho unut, one of the symbols ganut, utwala ikamba, like a can, elinamanzi, which, yes, exactly, of gas, which then signifies that ambiotic water, esibelethweni somama. So it is true, yonke into is given birth by Nut, and yonke into is welcome back, in that, etheric, layer, through Indlovukazi Nut. And we're talking, ngithandile inkulumo yakho mesiqala. Abantu should never be confused with masikhuluma ngabo Nut, abo Mvuselelo asa. We are not talking about, people who had, an experience, in this physicality. We're talking about principles that are there forever. It's an eternal energy, that has been there in the past, is still there, for us to draw from that energy. Yes. But we just need to raise our consciousness so that, our souls are able to ascend and vibrate at a very same, vibrational frequency with all these principles.
Thokoza Mkhulu. Mkhulu, last time we touched a little bit on the 3 different planes at which things exist or are, which is the causal, the astral, and the physical. Yes. So, we talk about manifestation and what. During this time of Nut, what can people be doing? Like you said, this is a time of gestation, as you call it. Yes. In a practical way, what can people be doing in terms of the things that they want to see being birthed or coming to fruition in the new year coming? I think this is a great time for preparation as we round off the old year. This is a great time to reflect on the things that you've managed to achieve, the things that you wish you could have achieved, and to try and look at why that didn't happen. But then more than that, what else could we be doing this time so that the things that we want can come to fruit in the new year, and we can, I don't know what's the word we can use, and we can launch or start. What is this phase we are in?
Umsebenzi kahle Ndlovukazi uqale on the 21st of March. Okay. When the sun departed from the southern hemisphere. Okay. It then ushers in a period yomoya. Ukuthi now sesenza, the spiritual work. We are no longer, in the physical. Right. Because the sun is hibernating. Therefore, nati our spirits and and physicality. If physicality is bounded, because the sun is hibernating. But now, the principle that takes over when the sun departs from the southern hemisphere, unomkhubulwane, that spirit, skanomkhubulwane, as was unomkhubulwane inyanga, is the principle that gives us, this telepathy, is the spirit that gives us, imibono and everything and dreams. So we start the spiritual work right immediately after the 21st of March, meaning we are building what we want to see manifest in September. La emqondweni, you need to have a clear picture of what you want to launch in September. So makufika lesikhathi intensification of that, which manje you are now preparing lento bowulokhu yakha, ngokomqondo right through from March. Manje sokufike isikhathi sokuthi ilaunchwe ngoSeptember when the new cycle comes in. So now you are making all the necessary plans for you to launch whatever you want to launch right in the beginning in September.
Right. Thokoza Kehle. So for those of you, I mean, we've just started this series, right? So there are some of you who are sitting there saying, March, so now I missed. Listen, it's not too late. You still have a good 3 or 4 weeks to intensify. Sit down, map out what it is you want. Be realistic. Set small achievable goals so that you don't get disappointed, because you have to be realistic. But start being specific about what you want. This is still ample time for you to do that. It is still ample time for you to reflect. Matter of fact, it'd be a good idea during this time to really sit down and reflect on what you want, and then to be specific about it. Put 2 or 3 things down that make sense to you. And then pasha around those things, work around those things, get practical with a plan of how you're going to achieve that. And then use umoya lo to intensify ukupahla, because it is about intensification. And yes, you should have started in March, but we didn't know any better. We are here now, and we want to use, we will use whatever time we have now before the new year starts. So,
oh no, certainly. Remember, guys, when you ascend and raise your vibrational frequency, you are now connecting yourself, in that internet of souls. So whatever is intense in your mind, whatever you hold, dearly without any doubt, would you want this thing to manifest? Yisoke iskati leso. Remember, because once you do that, and doing through meditations as well, because that is a spiritual work. Meaning, Gucci, it's very easy for you to get a responding, a corresponding energy that might be looking for you as well.
Right.
Within that internet of spirit. So that one of the day uhleli nje uzwe kungena call or kungena umuntu, hey man, this is what I want to do. How now you actually are able to achieve those things. So it's never too late. I fully agree with you.
Thokoza mkulu. Perhaps on another time we can talk about this meditation thing, because I think I think for a lot of us African people, the idea of we tend to think of meditation as an Eastern thing. We tend to think of meditation as something that Indians and Tibetan monks and Buddhists do, because kaloku the languaging is Western language, is colonial language. So many of us don't see it as an integral part of who we are and our spirituality. Perhaps we can talk about meditation in short, because trying to define it for the African, what is meditation for us? What are we doing when we are saying we're meditating? Many people find it very hard to just sit still. And the whole thing, and I say this to a lot of my mentees, which is, there's this misunderstanding that has been put out by the yogic world, the people of yoga, who talk about meditation as a stilling of the mind. And I'm like, there's nothing like that, because your mind, it's like saying, I want to still a computer. Your mind is a computer. It's got all sorts of things racing. You can't still it. What as Africans, or what can you give us as African children to define meditation in a way that we can understand and make it practical for ourselves?
Just in simple terms, based on what Ubabu Credo taught us. ukhuphula umbilini. You are raising the dormant energy that is sitting at the bottom of your spine.
Right.
You know, that is meditation through, you know, breathing exercises, through yoga, you know, positions, you know. So in meditation, and of course, it's not an Eastern thing. In meditation, yaqala la eAfrica.
Yes.
So abantu maybe local ba researcher bafunda, they'll find that you know Okoko called it a lekemit smarter way,
Yes.
you know, just to harmonize, you know, the two different energies of earth, because meditation is all about that. Why it's called umbilini, Ubaba Credo called it umbilini because energy lekhuphukayo right from the base of your spine. There are two pipes, you know, la spinal cord yakho. Then there is the central one, right? But bese kuba ngapha nangapha kunamapipe anyukayo. So umbilini, those are the pipes that encourages the energy. Makuthiwa umuntu ipinal gland yakhe ivulekile. Sisuke sikhuluma ngomuntu okhonile ukuthi ayenze lama, you know, persistently ayenze lama meditation practices until azayifila, because you do feel it and you experience it when the energy pops right here, you know. So
but it takes a while to get the energy up there, Pelamkulu, because you understand, by the way, for those who've seen a couple of my videos where I talked about the chakras, and I talked about what we call Kundalini, that is what Mkulu is referring to as umbilini. It's interesting for me how the two words almost sound exactly the same. Kundalini, umbilini, wow. So this is that energy, it's a life force energy that sits at the base of your spine. And as it goes up, depending on your chakras, which are those energy wheels, there's 7 of them that go all the way up till we get to this one, which is your third eye. And then of course, the top one being your crown. We start right down there at what we call the root chakra. The root chakra, which in this whole Kemetic thing is Geb. I love it. Yes, everything just makes sense. Guys, I will break it down one day, I promise. But the thing is, to achieve this here, and let alone this here, there's a lot of work that needs to happen from the root as we go up. The root, the sacral, then the solar plexus, then the heart. Abanye bagcina nje ku-heart ngoba hey kulukhuni laphana ku-heart, inhliziyo ezimbi lapha.
No, sure. Kuba nzima wena Ndlovukazi ukuyikhuphula, ifuna idiscipline. Into okumele uyenze regular. Ungayenzi nje, like make it a habit ukuthi before ulala uyawukhuphula intentionally, you know, by breathing in, you know, ulokho utsifa, you know, la ngaphansi, you know, uyiforce le energy. And the most important thing, according to Kemet, it is called the Sechem. You know, there's this principle they call Sechmet, that fiery energy of the sun. That is the Sechem, you know, according to Kemet. So, isibhedlela leso Ndlovukazi, because that, you know, fiery energy, as it ascends, it heals as well. All the organs, you know, that are, you know, might be malfunctioning. So, kahle isibhedlela sethu leso. Apart from eating properly, that is what we used to do to keep, you know, healthy, you know, systems and bodies.
Thokoza Mkhulu, that's really powerful that you say that, because in a lot of healing, what I call like energy healing modalities, distance healing modalities, it is like Reiki, for example. I do Reiki as well. It is based on those principles of like you say, it's like a fire. So it's based on the fact that when those chakras are aligned and you can move that energy up and down, each of those chakras is actually associated with certain organs in the body. It is also associated with certain emotions as a human being. And we know that your thoughts influence your emotions, and then your emotions influence the balance of hormones and whatnot in your body, which can make you sick. For example, the disease of cancer. Most people will tell you that cancer is the disease of anger and bitterness. Meaning, Uguti, when you are somebody who has held on to unforgiveness, somebody who has held on to anger for so long, this anger is, remember, these are negative emotions that cause a disruption of your endocrine system. Once that's disrupted, the cells in your body become vulnerable to being damaged. Once they are damaged, you are at risk for them growing abnormally, which results in cancer. Cancer is nothing but cells that have gone rogue and they've decided, they've rebelled, and they're growing outside of the rules of how they should grow. So that's why everything is interconnected. And I think maybe at some point I'll do a follow-up live, because I actually have a nice graphic that shows what these chakras are, that shows what organs they affect, all of them, and that shows what emotions causes disruption of this natural flow of energy.
No, that is so true, Ndlovukazi. Remember, Guti, the energy, people shouldn't be confused about it. It's what we call the electromagnetic field around us. You know, energy ekhona by nature, because phila ngayo le energy. But now, because of pollution, you know, the food we eat, you know, it's no longer doing what it's supposed to do naturally. So kunalama blockages, ingakho you then need to make an effort, just breathing in. You know, abanye abantu, you know, you'll find that ukugula okuningi, abantu are not, you know, getting enough oxygen into the system.
That's it.
So it's very important, you know, sometimes just go outside and just breathe in, breathe in, breathe in. Because if there's no enough oxygen, that's why when Ndlovukazi would find that emakaya or abantu in Africa generally, they normally don't wear anything la ngaphezulu. You know, abelungu thought ukuthi we are barbarian, you know, people. Kandi no, we're intelligent enough to know ukuthi the more, remember ukuthi mawuloku ugqoka, all these layers are blocking the oxygen from coming to you.
Yes.
So you are internalizing the oxygen through your skin.
Right.
That's why, you know, most people, which then assist, you know, with the energy that is needed by the organs inside. So in lack of energy, oxygen in our system, it results into so many complications, you know. So the more you know, oxygen we get into our system, the better.
Thokoza Kehla. Very interesting, because there is this thing that when I first learned about Kundalini through, I was always taking myself on spiritual journeys before I knew what was happening to me. I was a spiritual whore, if you like. Everywhere I go, I just take. I went to a retreat. I went to a retreat and I did something very interesting called holotropic breath work, which is literally lying down and breathing in a particular manner, and you will feel this. And yeah, it was crazy. It was the scariest thing that's ever happened to me, but the most powerful. I was never the same after that. Because it's dangerous too if it's not done, if it's not done in a controlled environment. And I've often seen people saying, oh, I bought myself a book, and I'm like, be very careful how you do that, because you can go and never come back, because so this is just to add on to what you're saying, that breathing is the very essence. The word umoya, for us is also the same word as umoya, we breathe. But it's also the same word for spirit, right? Umoya. Umoya, as we understand it, spirits. It's the same words. And in many other languages, spirit and breath are the same word. So it tells you about the importance of breathing, if you like, to spirit. We talk about the breath of life, right? It's critical. So like Mkulu says, deep breathing, go out into nature. Right now in Southern Africa, you guys are so blessed. I'm over here, it is hibernation time, and very soon there's going to be snow. I'm allergic to snow, so you will not see me outside. But you guys are going into the season. Right now, you guys should be out there. The air is crisp, it's fresh. You know, new energy is coming. New elements are coming, which will culminate on the 23rd of September when you guys go Enzalo. I envy you. And you can take in all the hydrogen and every goodies. Anamona, Shem, Anamona. I'm just saying, you know.
No, sure. Good job, guys. It's a good time for us again. And remember, Guti, njengoba sivala unuti, uvala a period yomoya.
Yes.
Ukuthi manje sesingena into the physical.
Yes.
You know, because makusondela ilanga lisinikeza amandla for us to be physical. Yingakho siye emalimini manje siyohlakula.
Yes.
So that to prepare to plant in September.
Yes.
Whatever will grow. Yes.
Togoza Mkulu. So Mkulu, let's talk a little bit about the prayer book, because now I'm waiting for mine. I cannot wait. By the way, those of you here in the States, I've got several prayer books coming. Some have already sold before they've arrived. But what I'd like to tell you guys is that we want to make sure that this Kemetic prayer book and calendar, and I urge you, please get the combination. It's no point having a calendar if you don't know what you should be doing at each time of the thingy, right? Get yourself the calendar and the prayer book. Ugogo Mbala, I hope you're here to drop some links in the comments for us. Get the combination, guys, because they work hand in hand and they will assist you on your own journey to understanding, so that, and become disciplined, like Mkulu says, about studying these things. It's a lot, but it's also very simple because it's in our DNA. A lot of it, some of us have been doing things without understanding why we're doing them. Then you read, I was on the right track, but how did I know that? That's what's been happening with me a lot of the time. Like, this is why. It's in our DNA, guys, and all these things will do is spark the memory. It will spark the memory. So please get these, I call them keys to unlocking. Get these tools, get these keys, you know, and after you are elevated and now you can levitate off the earth and you can water bend and do all these exciting things, buy me some champagne, okay? Yeah.
No, injalo ntomkazi, remember ukuthi yonke into esifundayo ngekhemithi, it's nothing new to us. It's just that we've forgotten. There's what is called the genetic memory. All you have to do nje ukuyikhumbuza, you know, because most of the njengoba usho ntomkazi, there are so many people who are living according to the way yekhemithi. But manje bebeyenza nje lento without really being conscious of what they are doing.
Yeah.
So because umoya ngaphakathi is leading them and guiding them to walk, you know, that path.
Togoza, Kev. Togoza.
So there's nothing new. There's nothing new at all, guys.
Yeah. No, I mean, Mkulu, this has been amazing. I am conscious of how busy you are because I stalk you. I stalk you, Jay. I'm watching when you guys are doing the 1 hour thing with the songs and the singing. I'm learning the songs. You pass wako everywhere. So I know that you are extremely, extremely busy at this time. But I want to thank you so much for affording us, another hour of your time to come and share with us. The one last question I had, Mkulu, is as a collective, as children of Africa, because we also want to be plugged into the mothership, what can we be doing at this time in terms of umphatlo during Nut and Unut umpetigas for our collective goal, which is ultimately for the liberation of us as African children and for the land back. Umhlaba wethu siyawufuna and siyawufuna uphelele, and we're not making excuses, and asizingeni indaba ze land plus compensation for in. Sifuna ukuthi sibekwazi ukuthi how do we plug in as the children of Africa, have that bigger picture maybe in mind of our meditation ukuthi sonke sinje, even those of us in America, New Zealand, the Caribbean, what are we trying to manifest as a collective?
What we're trying to manifest as a collective is Black unity. That is the most important thing when Anjovgazi. And also what we're trying to manifest, Uguti, everything that was taken from us as African people must be returned. Messing and the local Black unity and the return of our land and everything that was taken from us. Lezi into zizoyenzakala automatically because umoya has proven ukuthi isikhathi soshintsho is here. It's time for change now. So therefore, us as Africans, we cannot emerge again in this period as slaves. We need to emerge again as parents of humanity. Yes. Because we've seen Lengane, they've messed up umhlaba. Why? Because everything abayenzayo ipambana nature. So Tina, as parents, we are nature-centered people. Yes. We need to re-guide the world how to reconnect back to Mvelingani, Nonomkubulwane, and all of nature.
Yes. No, Thokoza mkhulu, kuyazwakala. So guys, you've heard it here. Our collective meditation and manifestation, let's use this energy of augmentation for that, is number one, African unity, Black unity. Anyone who's Black is African anyway. So yes. Across North, South, East, and West, across the entire globe, yes. Black, yes. Black unity. This also involves a raising of consciousness in your individual self as we try to manifest this as a collective. Who is your neighbor? How are you treating your neighbor? How do you view fellow Africans? How do you view the struggles of fellow Africans? How do you view the struggles of people who you may have felt you had no relationship to? The greatest relationship you can ever have with anyone is the carbon that's in your skin. Understand that, and understand that only. That surpasses any tribal, any ethnic, any artificial republic agendas. You understand me? Please understand that deep in your souls. This carbon that is in our skin is so powerful. People have powered electric bulbs by simply holding hands and allowing this carbon electricity to go and power a light bulb. If you don't believe me, I argue with your ancestors. Or go and search Egypt, Kemet. You will see pictures of this phenomenon. We are powerful as a collective. That's why divide and conquer was the first thing that Lavabangilamadolo came and used. The kneeless ones. I won't say their other name because Facebook will block us. Yes, the kneeless ones use divide and conquer, and that's why they set up systems of divide and conquer that for centuries are now entrenched. They knew the long game. because they knew these people, if they hold hands, they can explode the world. And I mean that literally.
Oh, no, sure.
Not
Sure.
Figuratively, literally.
Injalo Ndlovukazi, and enye into that I would encourage. We will be streaming live umlindelo.
Oh, beautiful.
And we hope, wonke umuntu, wherever you are as an African, as a black person, join in, mesiphatha, mesifaka all the principles, because unothi isikhathi la ebiza wonke lamadlozi, all the principles to come and open the door. Yes, Ndlovukazi. All the principles to come and open the door for Umvelinqangi Umvuseleni, so that make figure on the 23rd of September, is welcomed by abantwana bakhe. Remember ukuthi le mikhosi, it's been years ingasayenzakala.
Yes,
it's been years and years and years. This is what our ancestors have been looking for. This is what, just a veneration of the sun, and acknowledge the importance of the hydrogen in our lives. This is what Okoko were relentless in doing. Ukubonga, yes, ukuthi we were in the latent period of winter. Now, imfudumalo seyasondela because Umvelinqangi is getting closer to us on the southern hemisphere.
Yes. Thokoza Kel, Thokoza Mkhulu. Mkhulu, like I've always said, you and I can go on forever and ever, and soon it will be 3 hours, and then, so we were actually closing before we digressed. So, number one, unity, Black children, unity, Africans. Yes. Number two, the return of all that belongs to us, including our sovereignty as Africans. So we're talking material things, we are talking things in the spirit realm, we are talking yonkinto. Everything that belongs to the children of Africa must come back. Mkhulu. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Guys, we know what, guys, hopefully we will see Mkhulu again a couple of times before the final. When the day comes for the streaming, I will make sure that I actively talk about it and put the links for your stream wherever I can put them, and share it out, guys, so that whoever needs access to this at that time, let as many of us who can be at Inzalo, let as many of us join in the Patlas through this live stream, so that together we are all as one. Thank you so much.